Kia ora, everyone. Welcome to the Unable Seaman podcast, the podcast designed to take a light-hearted look at all things boating and fishing in New Zealand. I'm your host, Jake Kerr, and joining me once again is my first mate and best mate, Christian Jensen. G'day, mate. How are you?
Oh, g'day, bro. How you going?
I'm great. I'm great. You realise we're recording?
Oh, no, I didn't. oh, shit.
Let's
No.
leave that in. So,
Uh,
welcome to
leave
the
it.
podcast. We've been away
Woo,
for a long time, and then Christian comes in with that. For those that don't, so most of you probably listen to our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and once again, thank you for tuning in. If you do tune in to the, you can also watch it on YouTube. Sorry, I'm distracted completely. If you do watch it on YouTube, you will have seen what Christian just held up to the camera. Probably going to get barred from YouTube, and I'll need to.
And Chelsea's going to fucking go, oh my God. Becky's going to be like, what the hell?
Anyway, so back to people. Hey, mate, people have tuned in for serious boating chat. Okay, we've taken a massive hiatus. We keep saying we're going to come back with more episodes, more frequent,
every month,
more chat, more direct, more academic, and
yet we come you know who you sound like? You sound like Winston Peters.
I'm
back for more.
Yeah, I'm back for more. And look, 10 seconds in, and you've held up some breasts to the camera. We've recorded. We're obviously out of practice.
Yeah, my bad. Actually, you know what I need, bro? You know what I need? I need a beer.
You need a beer. You do need a beer. Well, I'm having a round of Coke while we're doing
this.
this.
I am. What have I got in here that will punish? Oh!
Export Gold. Okay. Do we want Export to sponsor our podcast? But perhaps we need to get them on board.
There you go. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. So when's the last time you had one of them?
A long time. Hold up.
Here we go.
Oh, beautiful. Anyway, for the three listeners that do actually tune in for some informative boating chat, once again, sorry, it's been a long time between drinks. Christian and I have got some massive changes that have both happened in our life, and we'll touch on those in a minute, and some exciting changes too. I've got a new boat since we last spoke.
Do. You have two boats at the moment.
I have two boats now. I've actually got two boats and a jet ski. So people have started calling me Commodore around here. And obviously giving me all the respect and sort of pomp and circumstance that a title like that comes with.
You really deserve, really.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, let's start with you. What have you been doing boating wise recently? Keep it in mind. So we're recording this in December. We're coming into summer. What have you been doing to get ready for the big summer ahead?
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm gonna go. So I have an 8-month-old daughter. So my boating for the last 6 months has been zip. The last time I went out was with you, I think.
Wow.
But I have purchased for Piper. Piper's her name. Yeah, what a good name for a dude that likes the ocean for his daughter. She's got a life jacket, and we've been chucking her in it, getting her used to it. And hopefully I'll take her out and we'll drop some metal at Hunters.
Hang on, I'm going to stop you there. So you're a host of New Zealand's least listened to and talked about fishing podcast.
Least listened to, most talked about.
And you're saying that your boating up until now has been getting a life jacket on your baby at home and getting her run around in it.
Well,
That's not on the water. Can we clarify for the listeners? You're not talking about going on the water.
No, mate. I have to admit, my boating days have definitely the anchor's been put down. You would say, just a little harder when you got a little bubs, eh? Ooh, yeah. So I need you to come down, bro, and I need you to bloody dust off the barnacles off my bottom, and let's get out there.
Well. No, you need to come up because as I sort of teased a little earlier, very exciting times in my life. I've bought a new boat.
Woo!
It's been a long time coming. So,
are you going to tell us what nautical masterpiece you've purchased?
I have. For once, I've bought a boat that's I don't have to make any excuses or apologies for.
Can I just say,
good boat?
There is, there are moments when I remember boating with Jake here, and we were using 2 screwdrivers to try and run batteries in parallel. I can't remember, to try and start it. This one here, you've assured me, doesn't need that sort of situation.
It's this thing called it's a key. You just turn it, and it
Ooh.
starts. We've teased it long enough. I have got a Ray Glass. Well, here's a little bit of confusion. It's a Ray Glass 650, but
Yep.
the model is now called a 2150. Although, addendum to that is that the actual model's been discontinued now, which perhaps not a ringing endorsement for the design. But it's Ray Glass 650, 1998 with a stern drive. Went for a stern drive. There was a bone of contention there. We're going to unpick that a little bit later.
Or just fucking pick the shit out of it and go, why the hell?
Pick it to shreds.
Can we swear on this or nah?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool.
So I was so torn about the outboard. So I wasn't torn about the hull design. I knew I wanted a 2150. I'd been in them before. I knew they were really good hulls, bang for buck.
Can we talk about where you previously worked or nah? We can't talk about that.
We just can't say anything nasty about Tristram.
Okay, that's cool. So
I'm legally obliged to say something nice about Tristram.
Okay.
You can say what you want.
Okay, cool.
If you were to say that they were overpriced rubbish, that would be you, not me. Okay, I can't say that.
Okay, no, that's cool. And hey, I feel that way. But anyway, you worked at Tristram, but you really wanted to work at Ray Glass, didn't you?
Yeah. Look, I take back the overpriced rubbish. Tristram were a good boat. We're going to hook back around to them in a minute. But the running joke on this podcast is that legally I cannot say anything nasty.
He actually legally can't.
Luckily, they make nice boats, so we wouldn't do that anyway. But no, I've always loved Ray Glass. Ray Glass represents something very different to Tristram. So Tristram, one of the cool things about them is they are a genuine New Zealand-owned company, owned by a family called the Fink family, started by Lance Fink, and it's still within that family now.
Fink loves a finger in the stink.
You cannot say that.
Oh, can't you? Oh, okay.
Anyway, Ray Glass is owned by Brunswick Corporation now. Brunswick.
No.
Yes, Ray Glass is owned by Brunswick, who own Mercury, Bayliner, Sea Ray. It's one of the biggest. In fact, it's one of the biggest companies.
But not in 1998. They would have still been New Zealand owned in 1998.
In 1998, they were still owned. They were still a genuine New Zealand Ray Glass. A New Zealand company. I went out to Ray Glass Boats the other day, by the way. Beautiful company, but they have Boston whalers in their showroom. And I thought, why is that? And I thought, because they're owned by Brunswick. So, of course, they've got them. They've all got them in that showroom there. But anyway, back to my boat, because I'm sick of you ripping my stories.
And also getting us in trouble with this podcast.
The whole boating experience for the last month was putting a life jacket on your baby to run around at home. So
yeah, the other parents will understand. Hey, is your boat, what did you say, a 620?
650, 620, 650. There is a 620.
Yeah, I see a 620 here, and I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, the 620 is a slightly smaller hull, less appealing layout for me. So I went with a stern drive, which was a real bone of contention. I've never had a stern drive before, but I couldn't, for my budget, I wanted a 4-stroke engine, and all the ones with outboard 4 strokes were like 80, 90 grand. I did not have that to spend. Okay, I wanted to spend around the $60,000 mark.
How much did you spend?
I spent 58 in the end.
Oh, yeah.
So
okay, that's cool. There's one here for 59, so it looks like you did okay.
Yeah, and what was that? Is that a stern drive?
Yeah, it's 6.5 meters. Nah, it's got a blue stripe down the side. Okay, 93 hours, 2017, 220 horsepower.
Okay, yeah, same. So it's very similar to mine then.
Yeah.
So again, we'll put all of these, and I should go back to the start and say all the things we're about to talk about today. You can follow us on our Instagram at Unable Seaman, and you also can hook into us at YouTube. Type in Unable Seaman on YouTube.
But they don't really want to do that because I just put my foot in it.
Well, they do, because Becky and I, who's my new partner, have started making videos featuring that new boat. So if you want to tune in for the ride there, we'd really appreciate your support. Get on there, like the videos, have a watch. We think they're good. We're learning a lot. We've got a drone now. We've sorted out some sort of what's it called, audio issues. Like, man, I don't know if you've ever made videos before, bro, but getting wind noise and like trying to filter the drone on a boat, like the seagulls have a crack at it.
Really?
Oh man, do they what? And the other thing too is when you fly a drone, you've always got the security of knowing there's land under it. Or if worst case scenario, you can push return to home, it flies back to the home points. If say you lost signal, ran out of battery or anything like that, it returns. Home on a boat is constantly moving. So return to home. So if it gets low battery or anything like that, you're flying manually and you're trying to land this thing that's moving and being attacked by seagulls onto a boat with aerials and rods flicking up. So I sliced my finger pretty bad last time we did it as it's screaming
trying
at
to
me
catch
low
it.
battery, because you got to catch it too because you can't land it.
Oh no, you okay?
So yeah, I'm okay. It wasn't. It's yeah. It was sore at the time and it was cut for the next few days. So if you are listening, look, throw a dog a bone. Jump on our Unable Seaman YouTube channel and tune in for the videos. We want to make more. We've got some really cool ideas in the pipeline, but that's where you'll see our new boat in action.
Cool.
The sad news, though, of course, those that have been long-time listeners, all one and a half of you, hello, Mum, will realize that this
man.
is the death of the Bayliner.
Yeah, many painful trips that I look back and go, "Whoa, that was tough. Thank goodness I made it home," and I'm going to miss that experience and that feeling of not knowing if we'll make it back alive or if we need the Coast Guard.
So I think most of our listenership are men. Okay, so here's how I put it in. So the Bayliner is like an old
that's right.
girlfriend.
You're trying to sell us, eh?
I'm trying,
This boat.
well, I'm trying to sell it.
Sorry.
So it is for sale, by the way. By the time it's live, it will be on Trade Me. Type in Bayliner free.
Oh, good.
All jokes aside, it is a good boat. Look, is it perfect?
And it's actually a pretty mean hull, man. Like it does put out a sweet wake. Would you sell it with that sweet high pole that I made for you?
If I can find it, yes. Christian did make a high pole, so
and it was like 2.5 meters high. It was ridiculous.
The thing with a mast would be better.
And it sent you high. If you
I think I might have lent it to Team New Zealand in the end.
Oh, is that how they won? Yeah.
So we've been on the Ray Glass a lot, right? And then I've brought the Bayliner down, I've cleaned it up, and the other day I took it out for a little spin, and I want to take some photos and just basically have one last run on it. Okay.
Yep.
Now here's a real niche thing I'm going to say that some people wouldn't potentially get, and I think being a predominantly male listenership, they would get this.
Oh yeah.
You know how when you leave a relationship, okay, and your girlfriend, and she's great. In fact, she's amazing. Every day you wake up and you're reminded why she's the best thing since sliced bread, and you think awesome. But every so often it creeps into your mind, I wonder what the old one's up to. Or, maybe an image of her naked might slip into your head. Okay.
You're gonna get so hit by this.
I've got some eyes on me right now, so just be careful. But I did take the Bayliner out the other day.
Vicky, I'm so sorry for him. I'm so sorry. This is cringe.
And all I can say is the memories are better than the reality. It was not that. It was a semi-choppy day. I got wet. I got cold. I was like, my clothes smelt of fumes. There's no cover on it, so I get like there's potential to get sunburn. And I just thought, oh my God, I am so.
You're talking about like what? You're talking about like a 15 grand boat versus a 60A. Like, let's be honest, you're not comparing apples with apples.
I'm not comparing apples with apples.
So I know anyway, you're comparing. Yes, your new boat is way better, but it also is like 5 times the price.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So, because hey, in all fairness, bro, I want to say, like, while I love the analogy about the ex-girlfriend. It was brilliant. It was just so gold. It was so good in so many ways. That analogy aside, for how much are you asking for it?
The Bayliner, technically have a list. Probably about 15 grand.
Okay. So put it on for 20, negotiate down. If you're hearing this right now, you probably get 15.
I thought you're going to start at 15 and go down, but I shouldn't say that publicly.
But like, seriously, it's a big boat and you've loved it and it's been awesome. And we've had some epic missions on it.
Oh, bro, you're getting me teary-eyed saying that. I'm
gonna miss it.
I'm stoked you've said something nice about it. It's only taken how long? Only 10 years and numerous trips and hundred.
You got to wait till you look in down the barrel of the gun and when it's actually happening, and I go, oh shit! Actually, we did have some good times.
Rose tinted spectacles.
Rose tinted testicles.
So I mean, exciting times obviously met with sad times, but look, I was out yesterday. We came back from Waiheke. It was a little bit choppy, and I mean, it was blowing, I don't know, maybe got up to 15 knots. There was a bit of wind versus tide. It was yuck. And we sat there at 20 knots, powered our way through it. We like left this this Surtees way in our wake, and started raining in this other boat, which I couldn't quite make out in the distance, but we caught right up to it. So that hull
The
is
inboard, eh?
brilliant.
Hull and
The
inboard
inboard,
combo.
and you got 200 liters of fuel right down and quite forward. So the layout's quite
Yeah.
different to the outboard. And then you've obviously got the engine, which is towards the stern of the boat, nice and low.
I was going to say that. So you've got, you know, you mentioned the engine is low compared to an outboard. Okay, fuel is always low on a boat generally, especially with underfloor fuel tanks. Describe to me the ride difference going from, okay, I know we're going to be comparing. Oh no, your dad's got a Huntsman, which is an equivalent boat, but an outboard.
Yeah.
Describe to me the difference and how you describe to me that one is like you turn the key and then you start it and then you just take off and it just chugs, just pushes.
Yeah, so there is a couple of different. So just to remind people, Mum and Dad have a Huntsman Centurion, which is one of our favourite
Sick.
boats on this podcast. We've spoken about it before, with a V8 200 Mercury on it. Now the
Oh no, you
power
know
on that.
this is a loaded question how we're heading there because I'm going to ask you something after this.
Okay, so it's got a four-bladed propeller, so heaps of torque, heaps of horsepower. You think about it, you're gone, and
Centurion. Yep.
it's a great hull. It's state of the art in the sense that the hull, I think, it's 2 years old. That model's been out now, so all the
Yep.
latest hydrostatic testing and everything, and it handles like nothing I've ever been on for a trailer boat before. They are
Yep.
so far ahead of the game on what some of the other guys are doing. There were,
Yeah.
Huntsman,
And they're bloody well priced, eh? Like,
and exactly, and for the equivalent Tristram, you'd be looking at probably another 100 grand. Okay, like
yep.
I suppose the equivalent model would be the 641 or the 691 potentially.
Which they don't even
They're
make
very,
anymore, to be honest.
they don't make anymore. But the 641 is a good hull, but again, you're paying a lot more for it. Ray Glass don't do anything that small anymore. Haynes Hunter do a nice boat, which we're going to come back to in a second. Buccaneer, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot barge pole at the moment. So
Sea Nymph, I know. Sea Nymph's what you compare it to, eh? A
definitely,
1967 Sea Nymph V14.6. That's what you compare it to. Yeah.
yeah,
I can see it now.
yeah, absolutely. That is a direct analogy right there, a direct comparison.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, is that is a brilliant. There's nothing nasty to say about that, and it handles brilliantly well. You got to remember this hull I bought was 1998.
Yep.
Okay, and it is as good as makes no difference. It's just as good. I really did not say that sentence right. It makes such a little difference that you got to, again, this is pre-hydrostatic testing. Now, there's a couple of things that make it handle that well. We've just spoken about the weight. The other thing I'm really learning about is dead rise. Okay, so for those that don't know what dead rise means in a boat, it's the V. If you stand at the back of a boat, okay, and you look at the V shape in the hull, okay, there's a degree associated with that. Okay, if you've got a flatter hull,
slope angle. Yeah.
So for example, if you had a 30-degree dead rise, you'd have a reasonably flat hull, which means when you turn it sharp one way or the other, the boat stays reasonably flat. Okay, however, you have more
The other way
surface
around, bro.
area.
If it was 15 degrees, it'd be reasonably flat.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, because as like flat bottom boats have like a 15-degree dead rise, like a FC 4 whatever, 495 whatever, and then as you get up like 25 degrees, getting bloody steep.
Okay. What?
Sorry to correct you there. Anyway,
so what I said completely the opposite though. So what I'm saying is you have a flatter thing, so you'd slap across the water more because you have more
yeah,
surface
but it gets you up
area
on the plane quicker with less horsepower.
So there's pros and cons to both. Mine
Yep.
will mine will I don't know what that message is popping up. Okay, what mine has a steeper V or deeper
Yep.
V. Okay,
Yep.
so therefore it punches through the top
Yep.
a bit better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yep. Big
Yeah.
deep V's need a bit more horsepower to boogie along, but you just can't beat the ride.
You can't beat the ride. That's it. Yeah.
And what do they say? Get a deep V. Get a deep V if you go in blue water.
So the reason I brought that up is that one thing I've really noticed with this boat is when you crank it over, let's say you drop a wakeboard or something, you're cranking it around. Jesus, the first couple of times I thought this is going to throw me out. It
Yeah.
leans right over. It gets right over when you do those hard turns.
Yeah.
And that takes a little bit of getting used to. The other thing is I find that when you're going along, so it's got trim tabs, and you're going along, and there is a crosswind, you do have to use your tabs a bit.
Oh,
You've got to
yep.
work those
Yep.
tabs. So once you
So
get that whole
bit of
square,
a
though, you're
bit
sweet.
of a negative that you want, like a bit of a negative or a play off, deep V, mean ride, but you've got to your tabs sort of thing.
Yeah. So
Yep,
you
yep,
definitely
very
have
cool.
to keep it reasonably stable. Once you get your head around that, though, it just chops
Mint.
away and away it goes. So
Yeah.
really, really impressive. Um,
Man, I cannot wait. So to all the listeners, I have not been on this boat yet, but I am so freaking pumped to get out
yeah.
in it.
And I can't wait to have you up here. So anyway, that's sort of been a bit of an update on where we are
Yep.
and what's been happening recently. We're probably going to rip into the meat and drink of our
Oh,
podcast in a minute.
I'm just like looking at the time. So we have been recording for I don't know, something. Oh, I just see what's going on here, bro.
Do you see what's
We must
going
be,
on here?
yeah, we've been recording for 32 minutes and we're tight asses. Actually, we've been recording for 32 minutes and we haven't even got into the meat and drink of our podcast. But anyway, and now we have 8 minutes left of our free Zoom meeting because we're tight asses. Looks like you
Yeah.
have to do some editing there.
We're gonna have to probably start again. So if we hit ads, if you want to sponsor this podcast, at
Now's a good time.
unanchoredseaman@gmail.com, give us a text or an email, I should say.
Yeah.
And
Text giving
this podcast is getting
you
worse
are
and
a
worse every
winner
time we
today.
do it, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true,
And
true, true.
and we will squeeze your ad between the two segments
Okay, are you
because
gonna sign me out now and then
let's
we'll
sign
talk
out and
again?
restart and we'll hook them together. How does that
Okay, you
sound?
say it sounds great, bro.
I'm hoping this
See
works,
ya.
by the way. Right,
Oh yeah.
see you in a minute. Bye.
Uh, bye. Send me a link.